Hello and welcome to Workers and Resources Silver Republic. My name is FlamingCacti, and today we're going to be playing a very hard game, almost realistic but not quite. Let's get right into it. We're going to be playing on the A New Republic is Born map, and I'm going to select realistic mode, but then I'm going to disable realistic mode, so it's essentially as hard as it can be other than realistic mode. We're going to turn the night-day cycle to always day, and we're actually going to be starting in 1950, and I'll show you how to do that once we get into the game. So for now, I'm just going to select 1960. We need a mod for that. So I'm just going to double check this. Everything is enabled and hard. Yep, that's how I want it. Good. Alright, let's go ahead and start a new game. Alright, game loaded in. Let me show you how to change the time. So I had to get a special mod for this. It's called Time Master. It's a script mod. And let's see, if we come down here to scripts, you can see all the Time Master scripts where we can move forward and back in time. So I'm going to click that one to move a decade back. And now it's 1950. Alright, so starting in February of 1950. So I'm gonna follow my initial gameplay of the campaign mode pretty closely. Not exactly, but the same kind of idea I'm going to model on, essentially. We're probably going to build our first city here because that's just going to make the most sense, I feel like. So, let us... Wait, unless there's good. Let's see. Topographics. That's kind of an interesting place. I don't mind that. And that's against the coast. That'd be different. Want to do that? No, honestly, I think I'll copy myself pretty similarly from before. So let us go ahead and get our road down. Let's see, roads. We're going to build a mud road to begin with. And how do we want to do this? I want a road to come, I don't know, through here. Let us place our main road down this line. And I'll keep pulling that through. Alright, so now I have a road going through like such that is perfectly aligned to the grid. And I'm going to place a second road right next to it. Well, it will make things twice as expensive when I actually do upgrade this, but the upshot will be that when we are upgrading, our most important road is going to have a secondary way for cars to go. And also, eventually, this will be more like a highway system where there will be 2 lanes going in either direction. Alright, so now we need to connect the customs house up with that. So how do we want to do that? Let's take a look at the grid and see what makes sense. Maybe we can actually tee it up with a 90. Maybe here? Yeah, let's do that. Oh, I need to enable my snapping. There we go. Something like that. That's perfectly aligned to the grid. So, let us connect it in with the customs house. And one there. And do we want to give them a third road access? No, I don't think it's necessary. We actually reconfigure that a little bit though. Alright, I've made some minor changes, so I've brought that out perfectly straight, and I'm going to give that a curved connection. Do that, I'm going to get rid of some of that road, rid of some of that road, and we'll do that. There we go. And I don't think we need this guy anymore. So let's get rid of them. Yeah, there we go. And do I want to improve the quality of that connection anymore? Not really, because I kind of like the idea of that being a 4-way junction. Or at least a 3-way junction. Could probably, let's see, bring that road out. Maybe it will eventually connect up with the other customs house over there. And do I need a highway going that way. Not strictly. Well, the reason why I'm wondering is maybe this would be good for gravel. Do we have any other good places to do gravel early on? Over there. Let's get rid of this road. I think it would look better as a three-way intersection anyways. So let's do that. Then we'll use... Do we want that to be our intersection? Do we want to make this a roundabout maybe? Roundabouts don't necessarily work super good though. Maybe we could give it like slip lanes, like that. That would improve the traffic flow. Maybe we should do that. Okay. So let's see. We'll connect there to there. And we'll actually bring you across. And what's your problem? You don't like that cross section? Let's get rid of that then. Come on, do you want me to reconnect those nodes and start fresh there? Does. Okay, we'll do that. That'll work nice. And we won't give them a crossing point there. And that should work. That should work just fine. Alright. So essentially that means that there's a shortcut for any right-turning traffic from either direction. But left-turning traffic, such as from there, we'll still need to use this central intersection. Not a big deal right now, but maybe later on when we have things going on down there, it will be a big deal. So just planning for the future on that. Alright. Roundabouts don't work super good on this game. They're okay. Anyways, let us keep on building. So I want to put our initial city right here. I'm going to do a westernmost bound, maybe here? Yeah, sure. Let's take a road. And let's just bring it straight down. Something like that. Alright. So, let's see. In the previous campaign I did 166 meter by 166 meter blocks, and that worked out super good. I think I'm actually going to go for larger blocks of 200 meters by 200 meters. And I'm going to try a more, a similar layout, but instead of going that way, I'm going to go that way. So, let's measure this for 200 meters. Do a measurement there. And 200 meters is right there. Alright, so let us do that. I'm gonna try to get that to line up perfectly if I can. Not that you want to. Okay, what if I disable snapping? No, still not happy about it. If I back that up some and try to put it down manually, it just doesn't want to. Alright. Fine. It's whatever, I guess. Is it? It never is. Let's fix that. And that's as close as it's gonna get. Alright. Let's build down a little more. So, actually I guess oh. Let's redo the measurement. Gonna need to measure from there to there. Build a road off there. Let's try to make that 90. Something like that. Alright. So we got 200 meters, 200 meters. And let's do another 200 meter measurement. Yep, right there. And it's not going to line up perfectly, of course not. So let's just pull it on through. Great. Even though it's not necessary, I might do another 200 meter measurement down there. Let's do that off camera. There we go. So far I've got a road going down, and then every 200 meters I have a road going out. Alright, so let us place a few more 200 meter increments, but this time going vertically from this perspective. So let's see, I need my measurement tool again. Reset points, 200 meters. So in the harder difficulties, it's important to be well planned and well thought out. You want to deliberately make decisions. And I like being a perfectionist and making everything line up perfectly. Sometimes the game has other ideas. But you know, I might not actually connect that to the road, because I don't think it'll be necessary. But we will connect that the next one down. So let's measure out another 200 meters. Right there. Yep, right there. 200 meters. Bring the road through. Let's see. Just try to keep this aligned the best we can. Looks as exact as it's going to get. Great. Double check. Yeah, if that's not exact, it's exact enough. Alright, do we want to go another layer sideways? Yes, we do. Alright, so let's keep on building this out. I'll do that off camera. Alright, here's how it's looking so far. I've got a bunch of these 200 meter grids going down, and I'm going to expand them upwards momentarily. I did have a random thought though about changing this intersection a little bit, where we add a slip lane here on the far right, so that way traffic coming from this direction doesn't have to contend with left turning traffic from that direction, or if they're going to the custom house. So that way this traffic going to the custom house doesn't have to go through that intersection by taking a slip lane to the right. Not necessary right now, but planning for the future. I'm not exactly sure how I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna mess with it off camera, and then I'll show you what I come up with. It's pretty simple actually. All I did was I just added a slip lane off to the right, and I think later on we can add signs here that will make this a more appealing route to go for traffic from that direction, especially if we end up putting like a stoplight there, or if we increase the speed on that section but like slow down the speed on that section. That'll make that look more appealing to them. Alright, so let us continue with the mission. We are laying down our foundations. Alright. More grids. Lots of grids. So many grids. Grids all day, every day. Alright. So, let us... Oh, come on. Like that, that. Yeah. I'm just gonna bring these through, essentially. Something like that. Is that square? I think so. So I've been filling in the grid, or expanding it, finishing it up. Not quite there yet, but I was working on this area over here, And I think that would make a pretty good location for a river crossing, considering that we can really cut down on the distance of the bridges. So I'm thinking we might do that, and this looks like it'd be a pretty decent spot within the math of our grid across the river. But the question is, do I want to do it right there for sure? I might hang off on that, but this seems like it will be a good... Oh wait, I don't want to encroach on the railway too much. Maybe I should just get rid of this here. Yeah, we'll get rid of it. We won't worry about that now. We won't put the cart before the horse. But we will leave that out like that. Alright, great. Let's finish building in this grid. Alright, we are nearly done building the initial city grid. So, it's nearly perfect. It's not quite perfect. It's just slightly off. In the future, I would probably choose a 188 meter grid versus a 200 meter grid. I feel like it might just work a little bit better that way. I don't really have too much evidence right now to support that claim, but I think it would work a little bit better in the future. I am going to add a 45 going through here. And even out to there. And let's get rid of these tails. And let's see. Stay or do you go? Go. Come on. Let's delete all that. There we go. That looks pretty nice. Maybe round this corner off a little bit. One more. Yeah, like that. And then we'll tee you in. Something like such. And that's fine. Yeah, that looks okay. I'll take it. This is more industrial over here. In this game, I like being perfect, but being perfect is the enemy of being done. And I think that we've come up with a pretty good grid here for our initial city. So how are we going to actually place buildings in here? Let's give this a little bit of thought. I was thinking maybe we could have our main rail line come right through the center of the city. Either through there or through there. Maybe we can parallel right in here. Yeah, that'll work. We'll cut straight through there. Okay, let's do that. I like the way that sounds. So let's get out our wireframe. And we're gonna need, let's see, can you cross, or are you gonna complain about being too close to the road? You can cross. Alright, so let us build this through. I'm going to go straight out the other side as well. Yeah, just like that. And we'll keep that going straight. And we'll ignore the rest for now. Okay. And I know for a fact I want to double line this. So we'll pull that through the entire city. And this is a very large city. This is arguably too large of a city, but we'll work with it. And how do I want to connect that with the customs house? Maybe we'll just keep the straight line going. Actually, I'm going to show you a trick. So I'm going to place down a temporary mud road. Not because I plan on putting a mud road down, but because it's going to help me space things out. So here's how this is going to work. Place them down like such. We're going to take our rail, and now we're going to place our rail and turn off the snapping, but we will turn on near snap. Okay, I guess you don't want to do that. But we'll use that at least as a visual indicator of where the straight line really is. Yeah, like that. Alright, now let's give it a double track. Have to take away some of that temporarily. And now let's get rid of the temporary mud road. And connect in the rail line. I needed to go from the other direction on that. Let's see. So let's redo. I'll bring that line down. And what if we just connect them all together and then bring that in? That works. Yeah. That'll do nicely. Yeah. That works. Very good. Do I want to do anything with that third line for now? Not really. Because I am having some concerns about, in the future, this might be too crowded. It might be good to have a rail yard there to handle a higher throughput of trains, but we don't really need to worry about that right now, but you do. You need to worry about it now and later. I think that'll work fine, and we can always adjust it. It won't be the end of the world. We can always connect up over in the other town as well. Great. I figured it out. This section here that I'm outlining with my cursor is going to be for living. That's where people live, that's where they'll go to shops and go to the park and whatnot. And then past here, this will be more industrial and utility. So this is for the people, this is industrial and utility. And you can tell the difference because of where that 45 connects. Alright, so since we're going to be doing that, I think right there is actually a pretty natural city center. You can see that it extends nearly all the way. Maybe if we move the Warstock marker over a little bit. Let's see, train tools, new name, put down a there. I did like the Warstock. To be honest, I like Warstock better over there for a name. Anyways, that'll do. Yeah, and we'll put down our train station and our shopping center here. We're going to try to put them right next to each other. So let's see, we need a shopping center. Oh, it's in residential areas. So we're going to need a shopping center. We're going to need a warehouse that will connect up with the train. And we're going to need a train platform as well. Let's put our train platform there, and then we'll put in the warehouse there. Or do I want to do that the other way? Doesn't really matter. We're probably going to need a bus system anyways. So let's get rid of the rails going through there and place down our train platform. Do that on the grid. I like that. So let's do that. And while we're placing down train infrastructure, we'll also place down our warehouse. Also place down the warehouse something more like... no. I don't think so. Be nice to have the train close to the road, the rail line, that is. Maybe we'll place her somewhere in there. Then go back to residential areas and a shopping center. But it's going to be imperative, it will be absolutely imperative that they have good access to all this. Maybe it'll be better to have a branch that comes off for restocking the shopping center. Yeah, let's try that. And we're just planning right now. We're not actually building. It's very good practice to try to place things out and plan things out before actually building them, because building things is expensive. But planning things is free. So if you end up having to redo something after it's built, it's going to cost a lot of money. But if you can catch your mistakes before you make them, kind of like how I probably should have done that the other direction. I'll show you what I mean. I'm very nitpicky with these things. Let's see. Shopping center? Yeah, in there. Do I have any broken roads? I do. Then rejoin those nodes. Right there. And then we'll take a warehouse, and we'll try to line that up as well. Unless it'll be happier with its own road connection. It just might very well be. Might just have to do that. Not a big deal. Let's see. So, warehouse. Do you fit there? You fit there. Okay, I like that. I'll, unless I can flip it and do that. Oh, I like that better. I like that way better. Okay, let's do that then. Yeah. Alright. So we need to make sure that we can still get this all connected with rails. So, if we connect you in like such, will I still be afforded the opportunity to squeeze a rail line in there? That's good. And maybe we can do something similar on the way out. Do I need to be able to access that from both directions? Not necessarily. Should I worry about accessing it from both directions? Not necessarily. Will I anyways? Probably. Wanted to get another road in there. Something like that will do nicely. Ooh, but actually, if I'm doing that, then would it be better to have the warehouse in there? I think I'll play with that more. Yeah, let me play with that more. So I'm wondering if we put down a warehouse like there. Yeah, that totally fits. Now we're also totally blocking the... Put it there, then we're blocking that pedestrian connection, which stinks a little bit. Maybe we'll do something more like... something like that. I like that better. Let's do that. Okay. Now we need to get our road going through. Alright, so I'm trying to connect those, but it doesn't seem to like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give them enough room to breathe. And then I'll try connecting the road to that. Now it works. It's a little wavy, but you won't notice that at scale. Alright. So connect that all through like such. Very good. And let's get our train reconnected. Can you connect in like that? You can. Will you take another line going to it? No, you won't. Okay. So if we can only do one, then I like the way... Oh, it's not bad. Could also do that. Yeah. And we'll do a similar thing on the way out. There we go. So that way the warehouse can be accessed from either side. And let's see, right here, can that be accessed from either side? It cannot necessarily. Like it can, but only if you're coming from this direction, then you're only going to be able to access the right platform, not the left platform, unless I do a crossover in there. And then we can do a similar thing on that side. Alright. And we do need to make sure that we can get signals in there, because if we can't get signals in there, then it's pointless. Not get signals in there. So let's redo that. And need to reconnect you. Alright, maybe we can do the crossover in front of the road. Yeah. We do a similar thing over there. What if we put down our mixed signals first and then work around it? Yeah, let's put down our signals. So, now that we know where we cannot go, let us build where we can go. I think that should work. Not worrying about signaling right now too much. Let's get rid of that warehouse, we don't need it. Great, so our rail connection has set up. We've got a shopping center, warehouse, train platform. What else do we need? We need a big bus station. Where do we want to put the big bus station? We're gonna put it. We even do the slightly smaller one that has one-ways. That's nice. Let's see. If we put the big bus station across the street from the train station, that makes a lot of logical sense, in my mind at least. Yeah, let's do that. So, we'll nestle it as close into that corner as we can. Then we'll build a road and try to make it pretty. That'll work. Yeah. So that way, our central bus station and our central train station are right next to each other, so that way our bus and train can cooperate. What else do we need? Like need. I think we should probably end the episode here, to be honest. And we'll continue building in the next one. So we're gonna need a pub, we're gonna need a cinema, some sports, maybe a pool. Yeah, so we're gonna keep on filling in this grid. We're gonna get some residential buildings down too. And we're gonna try to get this city nice and set up in episode 2, maybe episode 3. So thank you for watching episode number 1. I hope you enjoyed. We got our grid laid out. We got some very basic citizen facilities and rail line planned. Join me in episode number 2 where we're going to continue building. We're going to place down more residential facilities and get some residences down by episode 3 at the latest. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.